Hey everybody, I'm Andy, your self-proclaimed metal mogul, and today, October 24th, 2023, marks the 8th anniversary of me effectively starting this channel and doing YouTube music community, vinyl community videos. 8 long years. I know some of you have been with me for a lot of that time, and a lot of people are pretty much new to my channel as well. I'd like to thank all of the subscribers, all the people that watch, and especially all of you that take time to comment. That's the thing that really keeps me interested in doing these, is talking about my collection, talking about heavy metal music in general, and hearing people's different opinions on the music that I love, and just that interaction is just brilliant for me. Seen lots of changes in the last 8 years in this whole community. I think it is better now than not that it ever was. I don't want to sound disparaging about the early times I did it, but certainly for me personally, there's a lot more people from the UK. I've met, and in person, many people as well. I've also really good friendships over the years. So I wanted to do something to mark the occasion. Now, one thing that I've never done on this channel really is collection videos. A lot of people will show their entire collection through a series of videos, holding up CDs, vinyl, or what have you. They tend to be quite long, and people don't go into detail because they want to get through so much. So I thought I would do something different for the 8th anniversary, and I would do some collection videos. But I'm not going to go through and show everything that I've got. They're going to be themed, and the two themes are around styles of music that I've particularly championed, I guess, over the last at least 5 years of the last 8 years, maybe a little bit longer. And that is modern UK metal bands, so bands that are sort of since this century, really, even though this century is 23 years old. A lot of my collection is dedicated to sort of the 80s classics, but I've taken a really keen interest in newer metal bands, younger guys and girls that are still putting out great music today. And so I'm going to showcase my collection of CDs and vinyl in two separate videos. It's easier for me to show them in the two formats in separate ways, not that one collection is better than the other. And also UK thrash as well. So again, probably split that into a couple of videos. So in total, you'll probably get about 4 anniversary specials, for want of a better title for the video. But so in this one, I've got this big old box of CDs and tapes, and these are all what I call sort of modern metal bands. They're mostly from the new wave of traditional heavy metal genre. There's a little bit of stoner in here. There's a smidge of doom as well. No thrash, as I say, that's going to be in a separate collection video, but I'm just going to sort of whiz through these, and hopefully, I mean, all of these I have probably shown, the 99% of them I've probably shown in update videos over the years, but newer viewers on the channel won't probably have seen a lot of these. It gives me a chance to kind of just flick through them myself, remind myself of some of them I'll probably end up keeping out and having a listen to, just to re-familiarise myself with them. But yeah, I just thought I'd share, and you let me know in the comments any of these that are your particular favourites, or having seen what I've got in this box, any glaring gaps that you think I should be filling with some top UK metal. So I'm going to start off A to Z with A, and Arkham Witch is the first band. This is a band I discovered on Bandcamp. There's a couple of... I don't actually have any full-length albums. I've got one, an EP on vinyl, but I think I picked up a bundle on Bandcamp one time. So there's a couple of demo CDs here. The first one is, I think, even before they were Arkham Witch, which is the Vampire Death demos, which was released in 2017, I believe, and demos from the Deep. Arkham Witch are predominantly, I think, it was more like an epic heavy metal band, but they've also got this weird Tales EP, and maybe some other EPs that have more sort of punk leanings. Sorry about that. Next up, Eld Varg, One Man Army, and they are a one-man army, a single-person project. This was released in 2021. Very good traditional metal. Found this guy on Bandcamp. A band I've talked about a fair bit over the years, and that's Eliminator. Eliminator are more of a sort of melodic traditional heavy metal band, and we have Last Horizon from 2018. I'm not going to be able to read all the dates on these because the print's too small and I'm too old now. So Eliminator from 2018, this is absolutely fantastic. Check that one out. They then put out a compilation of sort of EPs and 7-inch singles that they took. So this is 7 tracks from We Rule the Night, which was released in 2011, and 2 tracks from The Seer 7-inch. Involves their previous singer as well, not the current guy in the band. And then their last album, Ancient Light, which came out in 2022. Farseer, a Scottish band. This is Fall Before the Dawn. This is a tremendous album. I think they've only put out one after this, and then they've since split up, but more on the power metal side. Dave Bissett has absolutely fantastic set of pipes on him, really good vocalist, so definitely worth checking out. Farseer, Fall Before the Dawn. More Bandcamp discoveries. This is a Forlorn Hope. They have one EP and one album out, to my knowledge. These two are both actually the same. They just put on different covers. For some reason I ended up buying both. Rifles, Talavera is the song to check out from these guys. And you also, if you buy it on Bandcamp, you get a nice little note from them as well, thanking you for your purchase, which is always a nice touch. And they have one studio album out, which came out in 2019, called Over the Hills. Forlorn Hope do a very sort of epic sounding heavy metal. All of the songs are about historical battles, and I believe factually correct as well. So if you're into sort of historic lyrics on songs, Forlorn Hope, thoroughly recommend them. Next, a band I was introduced to by seeing them live actually in Ballyman's. I ended up picking up, I think, most of the stuff that they've got on CD. I might be missing an EP or two, and that's Fury. And this is their first EP, self-titled, 5 tracks, which came out in 2011. So these guys have been going obviously for over sort of 12 years now. They've self-released everything, and they are that good that I can only believe that that's their choice rather than that they've missed out on any sort of record deal, so they've got full control. The Lightning Dream came out in I don't know, but it came out after the demo. My favourite album by them is Lost in Space. A couple of signatures from the long running members of the band that were, when I saw them live, there were only 2, I think, originals left. But this is Lost in Space. This is really good. So Fury are kind of like they're like a power metal as well. The Grand Prix, this came out in 2020, and most recently Born to Sin, which is a bit more sort of hard rocking than straight up metal, power metal. Still a good album though. This came out 2022. The only bit of proper doom that I've gone in here is from our own Kris at Green Saber channel. This is his EP Numb, I thought I would throw that in as well. There's Kris in the middle, good channel, go, check him out. But that's it's full on Doom. It's sort of like 5 tracks, and the EP goes on for about 4 hours. Proper Doom stuff. First tape, Heavy Sentence. This is Bang to Rights. This is good old rough and ready, a little bit speedy metal, raw production. The guitarist in here is also in Eliminator that I showed earlier, which is how I got introduced to them. Saw them live recently, supporting Seven Sisters and Riot City in Manchester. That was a bloody good meetup as well. Some more Doom, Iron Void. This band have been going for about 25 years now. Although this is their first album, was released in 2014. They've had 3-4 albums after this. Most of the collection I've got is on vinyl, but this has since been released on vinyl, but I haven't got around to picking it up. But it's an awesome album. Good bit of Doom. I believe Green Saber actually supporting them on their 25th anniversary show, so I'm sure that'll be a good gig. Kursk is a band that I was introduced to by Bev Clarkovision. Again, sort of epic sounding metal. Kursk, I think, being a is that a submarine? And there's a song here. I don't know, maybe I made that up. I'm sure there's a song here about a particular, again, a sort of historic song about a submarine disaster or something. Is that K141 maybe? Don't know, can't remember. It's been a while since I gave that one a spin, so that's one I need to revisit. Now, this band is one that I've been supporting long before they actually release anything. They play regularly in Edinburgh. I think they're kind of classed as a Glasgow band though, but they have members in Scotland and Germany, and that's Midnight Force. This was their debut EP. I've got a few different copies of this actually. This one is the first one that they self-released. Restless Blade, 5 tracks. Oof, too bright, sorry about that. Then they went on to they got it released on a label, re-released on a label, Iron Shield, that had a couple of bonus tracks added to it. Their first album, Dunsinane, came out in 2018. Again, these guys do a lot of historical lyrics, songs about battles. On their website as well, they even had a map showing where all these battles happened, a little bit of backstory about them. This must have been 2019 now, surely. It's a few years ago. I know they've got another album in the works right now, but this is Godovin. This is even better than Dunsinane. I do like Midnight Force a lot, so much so that I've picked up everything else on. Bear in mind that I've seen them live so many times. I always try to pick up something from the merch table. So a lot of these things I picked up on the merch table from different gigs that I've seen them. So I also got the Restless Blade EP on cassette, as well as Dunsinane and Godovin as well. Monument. These guys had a few albums out. I don't think they're still together anymore, but this is straight up Iron Maiden worship. No bones about it. You can listen to riffs on this, and for a minute you're thinking, which Iron Maiden song is that I'm listening to? Then you realise you're not listening to Iron Maiden, you're listening to Monument. So one CD from these guys was enough for me. I don't mind a bit of Maiden worship. I like bands to put their own spin on that traditional movement. Pretty much all of these bands to some degree are going to be influenced by the likes of Dio, Maiden, Judas Priest, but it's really how they use those influences that I look for and bring their own little spin to it. And one of the bands that does that is Neuron Spoiler. They have 3 albums out to date. This is their debut album, which is not easy to find. I think it was self-released. Not even sure of the year. They haven't put it on there. That's not my eyes this time. But this is a fantastic album, but not my introduction to the band. That would be their second album, Second Sight. This one I thoroughly recommend. In fact, you can get this one on vinyl. It was on Back on Black for peanuts on eBay if you look for it. But it is an absolutely superb album, one of my favourites. And more recently, they went actually back from releasing on a label to self-releasing for their third album, and this is Spoil for Choice, and this was actually produced by Flemming Rasmussen of Metallica fame. And again, this is an excellent album, really good band. I also have that one on tape as well. I occasionally pick up the tapes of these bands. Don't intend on playing them, but just as something else to throw a bit of extra cash a band's way if I like them, and support them that way. And also support them by talking about them and shouting about them as loud as I can on this channel to whoever may be listening. Night Screamer, Dead of Night. These guys are from London, straight up traditional heavy metal, lots of energy. Need to give that one another spin. That's been a while since I pulled that one out. Nocturne Wolf, or Wolf maybe, but Scottish, 2019 release. Another Bandcamp find. I think these might be playing in Edinburgh recently, but I think it's a weekend that I'm away, so that's a shame. Oath. This is Hallowed Illusions. This is all I have from them on CD. Well, I say all I have from them. Oath is another great one-piece act. Guy called Steve Waddell writes and performs all the songs. He is recently put together a live band, and I saw them for the first time. Well, it would be for the first time because it was only the second gig that they ever played, and they were out supporting Tailgunner, who now they're a modern UK band you won't actually see in my collection for because they're I don't want to go into Tailgunner, but they're not a band that particularly appeals to me too much. They're a bit too, like I said, Monument were too much of an Iron Maiden clone. Tailgunner have done a fantastic job, great set of musicians, a lot of energy. They put on a good live show, but to me they have really done their homework, and they've picked out all the key delicious moments of 80s metal and try and distill it into a single band. So to me, they sound a bit like an 80s tribute band. They look a bit like an 80s tribute band, but this just not for me. But I was a little disparaging about them after I saw them. But on reflection, I think if they're really going to appeal to a younger audience than me. Okay, I was around in the 80s. I was being around for the resurgence of sort of the new wave of traditional heavy metal that started 15 or so years ago. But for younger kids, I guess, if they hear the likes of Tailgunner for the first time, and that piques their interest to go and listen to a band like Iron Maiden that are, getting on for like 50 years of releasing stuff, and bands like Judas Priest. When I was a teenager, I didn't want to listen to stuff that was donkey's years. I didn't want to listen to 70s stuff in the 80s because to me that was dad metal. So if a band like Tailgunner come along and they give the kids the energy to go and actually discover some of those great 80s bands, then do you know what? I'm all for that. And all power to them. And they're going to make a lot of money because they seem to know how to market their band well and appeal to people. Lots of people enjoyed that show. It just wasn't really for me. Another band which I need to revisit because, again, I don't think they were really for me. Again, when I saw them live, I picked up a couple of their CDs. So this is a Primitai and Rise Again. This actually came out in 2013. and The Calling. I don't know, this was the newest album. This was the one they were touring on. But that's 2018 now, so they may well have something else out since. I can't put my finger on why they didn't click with me, which is why I do need to go back and revisit them. Which is the cool thing about music. That's what I like about physical media, because I've still got them to do things like this, go through this box, see what I've got, and some things I'll pull out and just think I honestly cannot remember what they sound like. Most of the stuff in this box, though, I would thoroughly recommend. Cyclona. Okay, so these guys are more on the sort of psychedelic stoner rock. This is a Venus Skytrip EP. I picked this up from a show they played at the Red Cross Festival 2 years ago now, I think. Post-COVID. I think it was post-COVID now. Who remembers COVID, post-COVID, pre-COVID? It all seems to be such a blur now. But this is their 2020 release. Really sort of infectious, good, sort of stoner, psychedelic music. So I kind of call this my Britbox UK metal. I've mentioned that a few times. But there are a couple of bands from Ireland in here, and I don't want to get into any political upsets about people. I don't, obviously, Ireland is a different country, but I kind of keep all these things together because, to me, I'm just promoting the music, and I'm not suggesting that Ireland's in UK or anything like that. Don't worry. But this is Pure Sonic Outcasts. This is a band now that I checked out when Gordon Black and Hymns channel showed these. Thought, wow, they're really good. Went out and bought the CDs, and I've not listened to them since. I think it's more of a in fact, I'm not going to tell you what I think it is. I'm going to go back and listen to them, and I suggest you check them out on Bandcamp as well. I remember them being really catchy, possibly because Gordon showed it. And Gordon's more of sort of a black and white. I think they're more sort of sludgy, if I remember rightly. I said I wasn't going to tell you what I thought they were, didn't I? But I've just gone back and done that anyway. But maybe you go and check out Pure Sonic Outcasts, or if you know them, pop it in the comments below and remind me, and I'm going to keep those out and give those a listen this week. Renegade 12, more on the hard rock side, I think, than straight up metal. There are metal elements to this as well. I think I saw these guys supporting Night Demon. They were certainly supporting some band in Edinburgh, which is where I picked it up. But really catchy, sing-along songs on here. They had a lead singer who's since left the band, and I think the bass player now is on vocals. I've not heard any of their stuff after this, but this is a really good album. A couple of CDs from the next band. Again, these were picked up in a show in Edinburgh, along with, I think, Midnight Force, one of the times I saw them. This is Rabid Bitch of the North, and this is Out of the Kennel from 2010. I didn't realise it was that old. Straight up good metal, gruff vocals, if I remember rightly. This is Nothing But a Bitter Taste, which is a great song to check out, actually. And Trapped in 1999, absolutely superb song. This came out in 2017. Now, Rabid Bitch of the North, I think soon after this, kind of lost their way. I followed them on Facebook, and they were advertising for lots of different members of the band, so I can't remember who's left in the band and what state they're in right now, but hopefully they'll come back strong, or even stronger. Runemaster, more Scottish epic metal. Love these guys. They kind of look a little bit sort of black metal, I guess, with that title. But this is from 2016, and it seems to have two names to it. One is Futhuk Dawning and Wisdom and Darkness. I don't know if this is a compilation of two EPs, limited edition 163 of 500, but excellent album. And their follow-up is actually also superb. Took me a little while to click with this one. In fact, I pulled it out for a recent video, sophomore albums, I think it was. And this is the Wanderer from probably two or 3 years ago now. But this is absolutely fantastic. Rune Master, you can check them out on Bandcamp as well. On the stoner metal side, this is a Sedulous. I have some more of their stuff on vinyl. It's purple writing on black, so I am going to hope in hell of remembering, or well, I can't remember what it's called, but I'm going to hope in hell of Dogfight, of reading that. The cover art pretty much sums up Dogfight, the title, doesn't it? But yeah, this is good stoner metal. You probably expected this band to be coming because I bang on about them a lot. My favourite band in this box is Seven Sisters. And I don't have the debut album on CD, but I have their other 2 albums on CD. The Cauldron and the Cross was my favourite release from 2018. Remember Firepower came out in 2018, and I thought that one got spun far more, and I think Firepower is superb. Then we have their most recent album 2 years ago today, I think, actually, or 2 years ago yesterday. This was released, and this is Shadows of a Fallen Star Part 1, which is also fantastic. Great live band as well. Can't wait for Part 2 to come out. Don't know when that will be. As you can see, this is sealed. I've got it on vinyl and also tape, which is sealed. The vinyl is not sealed. The vinyl has had many a rotation on the deck. I do have so during lockdown, obviously a lot of bands were putting out either a sort of acoustic sets or live recordings in front of no audience. Seven Sisters also needed to make money as well, I guess, and they put out a series of cassettes, collections of previous releases and some sort of rarities as well. And I, of course, jumped at the chance to grab them all. That included the debut album on cassette, debut self-titled album. What else do we have? We have Campfire Tales, nice yellow, piss yellow cassette shell. Campfire Tales, which is acoustic versions of few of their songs. I think there's 5 on here. 5 tracks on there. Echoes of a Distant Time was a re-release of some of their earlier APs, 7-inch singles, rarities, demo type stuff that they originally put out. So that was great to get that. I think I've got one on vinyl as well, so you'll see that one again in a one of this series. And the last one, which is probably the most bizarre of the lot, this is 8 bits and smash hits, and these are literally 8-bit versions of 5 of their songs, and it's actually really good. Obviously it's not something I play a lot, so 8-bit music being like the old school computer game type music, and it's surprisingly good in that if you know the songs and they're put on, you can recognize the songs. They're not it's not so far removed from the reality of the songs that you can't recognize them, but a lot of fun. Skyrider, another band that I got introduced to seeing live. I can't remember who was on that bill at all, but this is volume 1, 5-track EP. These guys were a lot of fun to watch on stage. They were all spandex, everything. They were full sort of 80s tribute, but they were putting their own twist on the music, which is something that I love. Soldato, Your Animal, was in 2017. So this was the band that I saw supporting Chris Holmes of Wasp when I met up with Metal Mickey and the Rock Scout, and we went down to Carlisle, I think it was. Can't remember who's going. Chris Holmes was pants. Soldato were pretty good. They were selling that on their No, they didn't even have a merch table. They just had like a backpack full of CDs, and I grabbed one for a couple of quid. Don't think I've played it since, to be honest with you. Solar Suns, another Scottish band, repping the Scottish here. Subliminal Criminal and Retrograde Motion. Solar Suns are more on the stoner psychedelic side, but really kind of infectious, good heavy sound to them. Well worth checking out. They've played live up here a few times, and I always seem to miss out on them. This one is unapologetically long, by the way, because I'm going through so many CDs. But you can pause it, whatever. Speeder, another Bandcamp find. As the name suggests, they're kind of metal, speed metal. I don't know much about them or whether they've done anything since, but it's a good album. I haven't listened to it for a while, but I check it on occasionally, and it's pretty good. It's from 2017, if I didn't say that already. 11 tracks, well worth checking out. Just make sure you don't miss anybody out. Starborn, a couple of CDs from Starborn. Starborn at the Dreaming City is a fantastic EP. I would thoroughly recommend checking these guys out. Got a bit of a power metal vibe to them. This was actually on Storm Spell Records. Their first full-length album, Savage Peace, didn't connect with that one. Haven't connected with that one. I do need to go back to it. Came out in 2019. It's probably been a good year or two since I listened to it, so that's definitely one that needs revisiting. It didn't have that same spark as the EP, certainly for me, but I'm a trier. I will keep going back. Stereo Nasty. Now I'm pretty sure these guys are from the Republic of Ireland, but very similar style. It's obviously the UK traditional heavy metal bands. This is a fantastic debut album. Nasty by Nature came out in... I should probably check to see if there's a date before I start the came out in line. There isn't. Now, I was introduced to this band by Rennie, Holster Metal, and it is one of the best recommendations that I've followed up with on the music community, and I have this on vinyl as well. They have a couple of albums out, but I believe they are no longer. Songs to check out are Black Widow for sure, but the whole album really, really good. I gave the vinyl a spin the other day, in the first time in ages, just by doing a random pull, and it was thoroughly enjoyed it. Steve Blower, The Prophecy. No date, but I think it is from the last couple of years. Again, a one-man project. Great heavy metal. Worth checking out. Bandcamp find. Storm Rider. I saw these on the same bill, I think, as Rune Master and Skyrider. Memories coming back to me now. They only had Heavy Metal Machine out at the time, which came out in 2018. 4-track EP. Good traditional metal. I think these guys are from Manchester, or they're based in Manchester. They're international guys. And then they're in 2019 they followed up with What Lies Within. I can't remember if these guys are still in operation. I think they split up and maybe got back together again. I don't know. I've not followed up. But 2019 Storm Rider, What Lies Within. It's good traditional heavy metal. Another Bandcamp find. Storson. Again, I think this might be a one-man project. So we have Ages of Darkness and Freedom We Claim. They're both sort of... That's a 2-track kind of epic metal, if I remember rightly. I know that I thoroughly enjoy these, but it's been that long since I played these. They're CDRs. that I do need to revisit, but it's uplifting, epic heavy metal. Sith, A Road to Infinity. This was a gig pickup as well. So on the Midnight Force Godovin album launch show, I believe, Sith opened. They hadn't played together for, I think it was about 10 years or so. Something like that. A couple of members. It's Dave Bissett and Barry Fitzsimmons, Baz Fitzsimmons, who were in Farseer, were also in Sith. So they did the Sith show, and then they went on and did the Farseer show as well, supporting Midnight Force. This is excellent. Excellent. Also has a kind of power metal feel to it. Sith Road to Infinity. Well worth checking out. Talking of Baz Fitzsimmons, he is now in a band called Tantrum, and again, band I've seen live a few times, but Tantrum are a band that have changed their lineup pretty much every time I've seen them. First time I saw them, they'd had just released their Rough Cuts EP, 5-track EP. It's straight up heavy metal. It's decent stuff, but by the time they released their first album, Melt It Down, they changed their lead singer. Again, decent album, sort of melodic metal, lots of good anthemic metal on here. But bearing in mind this came out in 2018, by the time that they released their new album, Another Life, this year, there's not one original band member left in there. It's a complete 5 different members. Not sure why they continued to carried on continuing as Tantrum. These guys were also on the bill with Oath. So Steve Waddell, that was in Oath, was on that Melt It Down album, as was Richie. Sorry, I can't remember his surname. The bass player was part of Oath's live band. Tantrum were also on the bill, and I pretty much thought I'd given up on these guys, the fact that they'd changed so much, but they put on a really good show, and I really like the songs. Most of the set was from this album, I believe, and I thought, well, what the hell, I'm gonna pick it up and buy it. So it's still sealed at the moment because I only grabbed it last Wednesday, Thursday, something like that, it's on the list to play. In fact, it's not going back in the box, it's going on the playlist there. A few more to go. We're on the tees, not many more. Another band that I've talked about quite a lot and have been a supporter early days is Toledo Steel. Got a couple of their early EPs, which are quite hard to track down now, I believe. The first is a 3-track EP, self-released. Why don't you guys put the damn dates on? But this probably is from a good 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe. Followed up with the 0 Hour EP. This is excellent as well. Again, self-released. From a year unbeknownst to me. Their debut album, this one probably does have the date on, but again, red on black, who does that? For us old farts that can't read this shit. Probably around 2017, 2018. No Quarter. It's really good, sort of Maiden, Judas Priest inspired, heavy metal, good, powerful singer. Just a thoroughly good band. Seen them live a couple of times. Absolutely fantastic. And heading for the Fire, their latest album, 2021. Again, sealed because I do have this on vinyl, and that's my playable copy. But I like to support these guys by getting multiple things in different formats, or at least it makes me feel like I'm supporting them, financially at least. Vuel, again, another one that's sealed. I did have a playable copy of this on CD, which I gave away as VCLT. Picked up the 10-inch vinyl when it came out. This is Hell from... I wish I'd stop saying from. It's probably about 5 years old now. It's a 6-track EP, a couple of guys in the band, Scottish, kind of blackened speed metal. You've heard me and others talk about Hell Ripper a lot. This is kind of almost like a bridge band between traditional heavy metal, speed metal, and what Hell Ripper are doing with the blackened thrash. It's more like a blackened speed metal on the vocal side, but killer EP. Totally recommend that one. And two more. Compilation, British Steel. This was a massive inspiration for me. I discovered a lot of the bands that you've just seen here and you will see in my LP collection from this this album alone. Amulet, Aggressive Perfector will be in the thrash. Eliminator, Dungeon, thrash. Dark Forest, Toledo Steel, Vuel, Seven Sisters, Insurgency in the thrash video. Neuron Spoiler and Witch Hazel. This compilation is super cheap on vinyl. You'll find a copy for like £5-6 on eBay if you want to look for it, and it is top notch, absolutely fantastic. And last of the bunch from this box is a band called 12 Bore, Beyond the Valley of Triclops. Beyond the Valley of the Triclops. This is sort of epic, doom-laden heavy metal, if I remember. I've not played it for a few years now, but they've got some other things out as well. I just haven't followed up on them, but this, I thoroughly enjoy it whenever I put it on. So there you go. That is my Brit box of 2000s plus heavy metal of different genres, mostly traditional heavy metal. Let me know in the comments if you want to know any more details about any of these CDs, maybe where I got them, or just a little bit more detail. I have flown through them, even though this has been going for the best part of 3/4 of an hour. Don't normally do. I do normally do that. I don't normally do videos this long, but you can watch it in parts. And I'm just want to commemorate the 8 damn long years that I have been doing this with just videos that are a little bit different from what I would normally do. Thanks everybody for your support over the years. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching, especially, and as I say, the comments are really important to me. So if you are watching this, why not leave a comment below? Just say hi, and I will see you very soon. Thanks all.